Can you explain what's going on with the India-Pakistan conflict?
Kashmir conflict. Kashmir has been, the India and Pakistan have fought over Kashmir, and actually China is part of it in that area too, for freaking, I don't know, since the 1940s when the British. Okay, so what happened is, in the late 40s, after World War II, the British, there was only India. There was only India, called British India Company. It was a British colony, right? So when the British left,
Kashmir was called that.
well, not Kashmir, all of India was only one. It was only India. There was no Pakistan. Okay, and when the British left, they split the country into Pakistan and India. They didn't split the country really. The country, the Muslims didn't want to be with the Hindus, right? So India became all the provinces that selected to go with India, and the Muslims provinces, whatever, were Pakistan. So then you had two countries then. And what happened was, there's this area in Kashmir, I mean, there's more details to this, but there's this area in Kashmir where like the Maharaja, whatever, the people there, the ruler over there, wanted to remain independent. He didn't want to be part of India or Pakistan. He wanted his area, his following, whatever you want to call it in Kashmir, to be its own independent state. So, but then Pakistan attacked him. That was, in I think like the late 1940s, like 1947, whatever it was. And then so that area became allied with India to protect them. And then what happened, that was the first India-Pakistan war, right? In 1947, I think. And then 2 years after that, the war was stopped by the UN. And the UN said like, okay, I'm explaining how it ended up to like this today. Okay, there's India-controlled area of Kashmir, and then there's Pakistani-controlled area of Kashmir. And basically it said, hey, you guys need to work this out. In the meantime, this is a disputed area. This part is India-controlled, this part is Pakistani-controlled. And then China comes in a few years later because there's an eastern side of it that butts up against China, right? And the point is, there were two more wars disputing that area between India and Pakistan after that, all the way until today. And there's multiple amount of skirmishes. You know what a skirmish is? It's like they just lob like artillery against each other, they shoot at each other, now they do drones.
It's like unrest.
It's not unrest, it's a skirmish. It's not like an all-out war, but they're shooting at each other, whatever it may be. And then recently what happened was, I guess, a bunch of Indian tourists were like murdered, quite a number of them. And India blamed, Pakistan for cause it. Pakistan said, no, this was just like a militia that did it, nothing to do with us. And then they start lobbing, bombs, shooting down each other's planes, drones, another skirmish, another like conflict. And then apparently that got solved. But I think the whole point is like they've been fighting over that area since the late 40s. With multiple wars and skirmishes, it's a highly, highly contested area. And then also China is also involved in that. China also annexed like a section of it because it's its border, right? And why it matters really, why is Kashmir such a big thing from what I understand, and why all this is like a big deal is, well, first of all, Kashmir is high, mountainous, right? It's a high ground. So strategically, militarily strategically, it's very important to everybody around there. Because you want the high ground, you want to have bases over there, whatnot. But the bigger issue about all this really is because India and Pakistan they have nuclear weapons. So the big scare has always been like this thing escalates and they're going to start lobbing nukes against each other. So that's pretty much the whole story of India-Pakistan's conflict.
But there's a ceasefire now, so.
Yeah, but it'll always go on. They've always been having like fighting against each other. Not all-out wars. There's been a few all-out wars, but it's always had skirmishes and little like fighting that goes on. And now it's another ceasefire. But that's why it's a big deal, because geopolitically, the concern is they both are nuclear-powered nations, countries that have nuclear weapons. And every time you start fight two countries who have nuclear weapons fight, the world gets concerned because what? It can escalate and then you start using nukes. And that's the problem.